As the summer months kick into high gear, we continue to muse about the spectacular gardens and al fresco entertaining areas we've seen across the country. Today on Homeworthy, we're touring 10 stunning outdoor spaces, from a layered terrace overlooking the Spanish mountains and sea, to a quintessential Los Angeles pool lounge, and then to a farm-to-table garden in Indiana. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
So right off of our bedroom is our lanai and our backyard area. We recently completely redid the backyard. We had a monstrous overhaul of flagstone removal and flagstone cutting and turf install. That was a really exciting process to do. But the backyard now is way more functional, way more aesthetically pleasing, and we're just so excited. It feels very like garden-like, it feels enchanting. It reminds us of pools surrounded by lawn that you see in the Hamptons or in like a French countryside. So we're really thrilled with how it all worked out. And we used a local company called Turf Rocks, and they molded and sculpted the existing flagstone that we did keep to make even channels between all of the stone, and then they laid down turf. The area all around the pool, we went with a turf-only design, and we just couldn't be happier with how it all turned out. They even did countersunk umbrella holes where we have dropped in these beautiful yellow umbrellas from California Umbrella. And it gives such a nice shade. It's such a great place to hang out. We have 4 new chaise loungers from Highwood Home, USA, and they're made in the US and they're so gorgeous. I love them. And we have new striped cabana pillows from Hackner Home, and also green and white striped chaise lounger cushions from the company store. And you'll notice when we take a walk around the pool, they're the same green and white stripe that you saw on the X benches that we are reupholstered, that we brought from New York City Curb Find. And they are the same cushions that are at the Beverly Hills Hotel. When we first saw the backyard photos for this listing, I immediately had ideas on how far we could take the design. The bones were amazing. I just knew that we could make it a little bit cozier and more functioning for our Four Seasons loving family. We are always outside. The coolest thing is this fireplace. It can be gas or wood burning, and I just love it. It has a chimney at the top and everything. In the spring, it's extra dreamy because this tree comes into full bloom and just makes this little haven, little sanctuary of shade. I just put some boxwoods on either side of it and have these grapevine lanterns that I just kind of have sitting on the brick wall. The entire fence line has been planted with beautiful evergreens from Garden Goods Direct, and we love those. We planted those ourselves, actually, all 15 of them. It was a big experience. And other than that, we've planted pink geraniums, lots of white and crazy tunias from Callaway's. That's our local nursery here in Denton, Texas. And just, pulling from flowers that I grew up with that make me feel, cozy, and think of all the things that my mom used to plant. And then the green, of course, will help to cover the fence line and make that a little more of a privacy wall as they start to fill in. We host a lot of parties. Magnus is on a soccer team. We've become very close with the families on the soccer team. So we've actually hosted team-wide soccer party, pool parties, barbecues. 2 of our friends turned 50 this year in December, so we had a huge party in the backyard for their birthday. caterer, bartender, DJ, all back here in the backyard. It was so wonderful. For our family, you know, we'll eat al fresco, we'll dine al fresco, we're floating in the pool, we're swimming in the pool, or we're laying out here. Now that we have loungers and umbrellas, we'll be here reading, having a drink, listening to music. Josh will turn the whole house audio to the backyard and we can hear the music out here, and it is so much fun. I think, you know, in the peak of summer, we're out here, you know, all day on the weekends when we're not doing our yard work, which is actually quite often. So we're doing our yard work and then we're outside hanging out in the backyard. But it is so idyllic and it feels like a hotel. Recently, just sort of the icing on the cake with these last finishing touches that have come in. Just really proud of the space that we've been able to pull off. It took a long time and it took a vision, but it's exactly what I thought it's actually better than I thought that it would be. I think what I love the most is there's 3 fire pits back here, so at night it's also equally charming, if not more so. So I love that. There is an upper terrace that looks out over the whole area, and we have 2 chaise loungers up there, so it's kind of a nice little spot to take in a bird's eye view. The lanai is really great. You can't ask me one favorite thing. There's so many wonderful things that I love about this backyard. But I think the biggest thing is I feel like we've made our own little resort spot and we don't have to check out. And one thing I forgot to mention, our newest addition to the backyard, I just picked up these business and pleasure cocktail tables. They're al fresco. I love them. They're so cool. They're a powdered white iron. The umbrella hole, it's just so charming. I love the like retro Slim Aarons vibes. Meets Palm Royale, meets Beverly Hills Hotel. They're just so smart. I knew we wanted a little low cocktail table and a place to put your book and your sunglasses or your hat when you jump in the pool. And I love that the umbrella just goes right through the bottom, right through the center, and into its umbrella hole in the ground.
And if you come out here, we have the roof terrace, which is one of my favorite parts of the house. This is where we chill out most of the time. We have the view of the church and the mountains, and my good friend lives up there on the mountain, so that makes me happy every day I come out here. I imagine him probably seeing me down here. This textile's from Iran, it's block print, and I just love everything about these block prints. This is not that old. Sometimes we have old ones. And this little table with the elephants. Sadly, he's lost some of his tusks. There's 3 elephants on it, but I love that. And then the old olive pot, which is probably around about 300 years old. It doesn't stand up, it's lying down, but I like that it lies down, it's fun. And then we got these chairs, which are so practical because you can move them anywhere, you know. It's just really nice spot to have a sit down and a glass of wine. So we have 2 of these benches. They're hall benches, and I really love the style of the sort of. It's quite churchy, but it's kind of Tudor England style. I really like them, but they're just practical for people to sit here because we don't have a lot of space for 2 sun loungers. So we come up here, and some people sit and some people lie, or lucky person gets to lie down. So at night time, here's the church in Dea, and that will be lit up in the evening. It's really lovely. We hear the bells and all the hustle. If anybody's up there near the church, you can hear them. It's really like an eardrum in Dea. And you hear voices and laughter. It's really lovely place to sit. And then we come over here where we have our own window to the sea. And I like to imagine that the family of the fishermen would wait here for the boats to come home. In Mallorca, they used to have these things on beds, and we would have full-sized ones of these, and they're basically mosquito nets. And this is not the original length. It would have went down probably 2 meters, and it would be a mosquito net. And I found about 10 of them in my time living here. But I sadly can't find any more. And being an antique dealer, I always sold them. And this is one of the only. I have a couple of other ones that are slightly different, but this is the only one I have left that's like this. So we come up here with our coffees and our lunch. The children will come up and paint pictures, and we'll sit around. Sometimes we'll play some music and enjoy the outside atmosphere.
Our favorite part of the house and what sold us on the house was this antique aggregate patio on the backside. When we first walked out here, I didn't need to see the inside of the house. I was already sold. So we've tried to dress it in a way that I think it should have been dressed for the time. And so we've brought in these, I collect these Francois Carré. They are 1920s Art Deco. And we've painted them all monochromatic in this really pretty sort of jade green. Since we have a small kitchen, but the kitchen's right off the patio, I also collect terracotta pots. So I've got a bunch of these terracotta pots out here that are filled with herbs. So if you're cooking in the kitchen, you can just come out to the patio, take a little clipping to take in for whatever you're cooking. It's kind of nice. It's just another extension of a really small space. So another piece that I really like to entertain with is this antique bar cart. It's on wheels, so you can wheel it around. And my favorite way to set it up is with a Moscow Mule bar. So I have all of these copper mugs, and I do a little bowl of limes, and then your ginger beers down below. And then last summer in New England, I went to Nora Murphy's shop, and she had the cutest little bottle cooler with a little handle. And so you can carry it around. It's great for outside. It's antique brass, and I think that looks really cute on there. And then mint that we grew in our little pots on the patio. You can set it on there as well. And then another cool thing is when you're entertaining, the whole top comes off like a tray, so you can carry this around if you have guests sitting over at the table and set it down.
We're standing in front of the fish pond, which is absolutely one of my favorite parts about this house. It is an antique aggregate stone fish pond, and it's gone through a few evolutions for us to get where we are now. I purchased this beautiful antique piece north of Chicago. I just thought that she was really fitting for the center of the pond. This year, I think we're actually going to put some koi fish inside the pond, just to bring another element in. People love it when we're entertaining. They love the pond because it's a really beautiful space. I think anywhere you can incorporate water has a really soothing element to it.
So living in Southern California, we do a lot of outdoor entertaining, and we wanted this patio to be an extension of our home, you know, another dining room, if you will. We added on the majority of the east side of our house right here to my right, and so we wanted with the two sides to create this intimate feeling dining room that was kind of another extension of the house and a room in and of its own. And so we went with a table to seat 8 that really helps to lengthen the area. We also created a outdoor living room feel over here that opens up to the backyard so that you could see the variety of green foliage that we have and the layers that we created of greenery. This area is completely redone. So our goal was to make it look like it was traditional to the home. So prior, when we purchased the house, this was a cement pad, and it had been cracked and broken and layered, and it was kind of a hodgepodge. And so what we did is we added the brick to the patio. We went with a traditional basket weave pattern to stay true to a colonial style house. My husband and I went and hand selected all of the brick that we used at the house. All of the brick came from demoed buildings in downtown LA, which is really neat to keep with the Los Angeles area and the history and the culture of our community. So I've always wanted to have a climbing jasmine trellis. And so in this, we had this wall and it seemed a little stark to be solid white. And so I wanted to create an element of detail. Our master bedroom is directly across from it. So when you're in bed, it's really nice to like look out and see greenery. And so we created this beautiful trellis. We added impatiens along the bottom. This is a Mexican lime tree, which is really great for tequila cocktails. And then we added rosemary along the bottom of it. So it's really important when we were doing our home and our garden. We stuck with the green and white color palette, and we tried to use it in different plants and different flowers, but stick with that green and white feel and add depth with different plants. When we bought the house, the privet hedge here existed, the taller hedge in the back, but we wanted to add more detail, more layers, create variety. So we added the variegated mock orange as our second green and white layer, and then we did a dwarf pittosporum in the front to create more of a rounded hedge, creating that depth. At night, it's really nice. We have uplighting that lights the hedge, and so you can get those greens and whites and silvers. And I just love the way that we did the light to really showcase the foliage. The other thing that I love is we have a downlight in our oak tree that shines down, and so at night in the evenings when you look down at the grass, you see the silhouette of the tree, of the beautiful oak tree that's been here probably since the house was built. So in the garden, I wanted to use citrus, things that we would use in our everyday cooking or needs. So as you can see, we have a lot of potted citrus around. We have it right here, and at the base of the potted citrus, I added oregano. It's a great ground covering, and then also, as you know, a very useful spice. In here, I created this trough for vegetables, and so we have carrots and cilantro, rosemary, dill, sage, parsley, thyme, whole bunch of different herbs that we use in our everyday cooking that I thought, why not grow in our own backyard.
So my favorite part about my home is actually the backyard. I can't wait to show you the backyard. And it's because I love to garden. I'm out there every day, deadheading, planting more things, checking on the garden, and it's a space where we entertain a lot, is always outdoors. And I feel so fortunate to have a nice corner lot. So we have a lot of areas and space, but also great weather to grow lots of things and garden. I think what gives a home soul is the personalization in it. When you walk into someone's house and you think, oh, she likes to collect this. This is her favorite color. This is important to her. Maybe you see like a big kitchen and you're like, okay, this is a hostess who likes to host. I think when you see the personalization, and it's not that things have to match or go together with color coordination, it's just a style that you see someone's personality come out. I think that's a great thing to walk into someone's home and see that. Now I'm gonna take you to my favorite part of the entire house. It's actually the backyard. And welcome to the favorite part of my home, the backyard. I bought this little pineapple brass sign off of Etsy, and you know, pineapples are hospitality. This is our kitchen garden. We call it the kitchen garden because it's right off the kitchen, and it's a lot of florals. So I have some rose bushes right here. We have a jasmine wall that's in full bloom and smells amazing right now. This is just like a little area that we enjoy hosting friends because we are on the corner lot. We can be as loud as we want to at night in this area. And I will say, if you have a small backyard, you can add so much personality and squish a lot in. So I would pretend if this was just my backyard, this would be more than enough and I would still love it and your guests would love it. We have some veggies in the raised brick garden beds. So I bought this at an auction, online auction. My husband and I went to go pick it up, and I see a sticker on the back that looks very familiar. And I'm like, what is that? It was a Home Goods sticker. I was like, no, but I only paid like $35 for it, so I wasn't super mad, but you know, I still love it. I painted it from gray to white and it works, so it's okay. It's a good Home Goods find. We hide some of our garden tools back here, big garden tools here, like the lawnmower. And now this is where we enter for like the main backyard. So our guests would come in through where you just did and into our backyard where tables would be set up on the lawn. Every tree you see, every plant has been planted by us. We had a couple here, but they ended up dying. They were on their way out, and these trees grow incredibly fast. They do well with very little water here in Arizona. And I know the first thing you think about is this doesn't look like Arizona, but Arizona has a lot of green areas. And I live in a neighborhood that is very lush and green. This was a former citrus farm, so the soil is really great. The trees we have, Chinese elm grows really fast, does great here. I have some ash trees, and they have just created these amazing canopies, and our whole backyard's practically shaded, which also creates a microclimate, so we can have roses, other plants, and things like that that will survive really well here. This is one of our patio areas. This is a storage shed. Since we don't have a garage, we need storage for Christmas and all my plates and holiday things, so that's in here. But this area is just where we dine and eat outside with friends. This was an estate sale find, also from the late Arizona Cardinals estate sale. This is the outside of the garden room. And when we have parties, people come in and out right here. We have this amazing patio furniture. It's by a company called Patio. It is the best furniture. When we first got it, we fell asleep on it for 2 hours by the fire pit. We've never been so comfortable, and it's durable. And the company is like an Arizona-based company, but it's national. So you know if it can survive in Arizona, this is gonna survive anywhere. When we renovated this whole backyard, we had a landscape designer. I wanted a focal point. I think something that I learned through design books was that from a view from the inside of your home should look out into something amazing. So I thought a focal point would be a good idea. People usually ask if this is a fountain, but it's not. It's like a faux fountain. It's actually a seating area. I found this blue and white, I think it's like a Mexican planter at an estate sale, had no idea where it was gonna go, had other ideas for it, kept it. And when we were building this, I brought it out, showed my, my guy, and I was like, can you make a little, you know, like make sure this fits in there? And so he did, and it's perfect right there. So this is just extra seating. We kind of call this like the backyard island. And it's just like another seating area when we host baby showers or things like that. Usually the cake cutting and all the gift opening is right in this area. Now I'm going to take you into the orchard. So we did have a couple grapefruit trees on a property, but fruit trees don't last forever. So we decided to start planting our own. So we have a pink lemon, which is right here. This is the outside of my dressing room. We have a lime tree. And this very special tree that's behind a Gothic fruit cage is my peach tree, because I love peaches, and we obviously need to protect them from the birds because they certainly know that this is an orchard and they come all the time. So I ordered this from a company in England because I just had to find one that was pretty. So my husband said, if you're gonna get a fruit cage, make sure it doesn't look like a batting cage. This is our lemon tree and our mandarin orange tree right here. Right here up against the back of my closet window, we have a little path. I found these little animal stepping stones at an estate sale, and I thought they were so darling. There's a frog, a pig, a bunny, and a turtle.
Now we'll head over to the newest space in our house, which is the deck. So as I mentioned, we love hosting, we love throwing dinner parties. And when we moved in, we didn't have much outdoor space, so building a deck was kind of a top priority for us. So when we bought the house, you can see actually the wood, you can see the old wood here, and it was just a narrow little walkway as well as a gravel pathway going this way. So you could just barely fit a dining table. So we just built this in the fall and we use it constantly. So my husband and I, we love to host dinner parties. We usually collab on the food, but I love doing the tablescapes. So I usually have a theme, whether it's pizza night and it's a totally Italian theme, or it's just like a nice lunch we're having. I would do something more like a blue and white coastal theme. But really, I would say we have people over every single week. And we also have guests come to stay with us in LA all the time. So having a place to hang out outside is really important for us. And we're also from Canada, so making use of the outdoor space throughout the entire year is amazing, because in Canada you usually only get a couple months of that. So I don't know if you noticed inside, but we actually don't have an oven. And because we like to cook, we've really had to improvise and find new and creative ways to cook. So we use our barbecue all the time. And I recently bought my husband a pizza oven for his birthday, and we've been using this constantly. He's really nailed the homemade dough, and it's probably one of our main dinner parties that we have now. So home means to me making it somewhere that I really want to be. Don't get me wrong, I love traveling, I love going out, I love trying new restaurants, but I really am always aiming to make my home feel like the place that I want to be and feel like my own little haven, and also somewhere that my friends and family want to be. We're really lucky. We have people come visit us all the time. Actually, just last month we had 3 straight weeks of guests coming to stay with us, and that's definitely the norm. And people, they often just say that they love being here, they love hanging out, they love coming to our dinner parties, and that means everything to me. That's just exactly what I'm going for. And you know, our house isn't huge or anything, but I think it's very comfy, and it's a very kind of happy and cozy place to be. So I never would have dreamed that we'd live beside family. I feel like in this day and age, that's so hard to come by. So we're very, very lucky that we live beside my brother and sister-in-law. We hang out with them almost every day, I would say. And it's just like having a little built-in community. So it's really lovely. So we have a little fire pit area over here, and this is where people usually gather while we're still cooking. They grab a drink and they hang out over here. And then as you can see, the backyard extends up there. We have a ton of garden space, and we actually have grapefruit trees and lemon trees. So when we need something, we just run out and pick it from the tree, which is really awesome. And we have 2 dogs, and they absolutely love having this giant green space to run around in.
Okay, well, let's go outside now, and we'll go out to the courtyard, to the dining table. And here we are in the enclosed outdoor courtyard. And here's the table, which we use practically all the time in summer. We don't eat inside at all because it's so lovely here with the fountain and the tropical greenery. It's a perfectly isolated, picturesque kind of spot. And people in the past have used it as well. Adrian, the costume designer, he kept monkeys here and parrots, which we haven't quite followed in his footsteps. But he took Greta Garbo dined here. We have that in a memoir when Adrian lived here. And here's the fountain, which is rather lovely to hear the sound when we're eating. The courtyard is a very Mediterranean architectural feature. And this courtyard is pretty much similar to quite a lot in Los Angeles because it's a lovely place to sit and be enclosed from the rest of the world. Generally, we like to serve maybe foods from all over the place. Mexican food is very popular here in LA. And quite often I have someone come, there's a restaurant called Lotteria that will come and serve and prepare the food for, you know, quite lively dinner parties out here in the summer. And we have a lot of fun out here. It's great. And sometimes we even host benefits as well for various institutions or book parties. You know, it's a great space for entertaining. I find that green plates look very good in an outdoor setting, particularly the cabbageware. It kind of picks up from the green leaves around us. And so I like to do a theme of green and yellow and a bit of blue reflecting the sky. It's a great place to have fun with a table. Well, here's this amazing staghorn that we've had for years and years and years. And that's really become a feature of this courtyard. However, it was originally landscaped when we moved in. But over the years, it's kind of grown and kind of moved in different directions. But the basic sort of backbone of it is still here. Then a lot of its plants, one of the hard parts about it is that in winter, there's no sun, and in summer, in a lot of places, there's full sun. So I have to pick plants that can handle both bright and shade, light and shade. And so that explains these like wonderful rubber plants. There's just the general kind of tropical feel of all these sort of, this is actually called California geranium, and that can take both sun and shade. And walking through hydrangeas, although they like the sun coming back, which is happening right now in this corner. Overlooking this courtyard is the main bedroom with the Juliet balcony, which is lovely because you can look out from the bedroom. And through here is the door to the rest of the garden, which is basically a hillside garden, and steps go up to various landings where we can have dinner in the winter, where the sun hits, because we don't have any sun down here. This is a very comfortable spot for us out here. In fact, it's a great space to entertain friends, and especially in the summer. And from here we can see the front facade of the house, and we can see the greenery all around us. And we can also, in the distance, we can see the trees from the park around the Hollywood Bowl. It's nice to have drinks out here before we go into the house, especially because we like to admire the front facade of the house, because it is so historic and unexpected. And so it's a great place to have people for drinks.
Curating the backyard to make sure it felt like my little oasis was so important. It had a nice amount of space to do little fire pit, outdoor seating, and it has the cutest miniature pool. It's like a pool slash jacuzzi. So I actually did checkered tile all throughout the backyard. And I just think it really, really makes the space look so elevated. And then I went crazy on the landscaping. I was like, let's make it feel like Tulum meets Montecito. So there's lots of lavender, olive trees mixed in with giant palm fronds. I think it's a really special mix of the two kinds of plants. The space is small, but I wanted to make sure I really utilized all the areas of it. This side has the pool slash jacuzzi. It's small, but it heats up so fast. I love using it as a jacuzzi. I put 2 chaises here, so it really did feel like we're at a hotel. I actually lay out here all the time with my laptop and my umbrella, just doing some work when it's really hot during summer. And I was mentioning before, I wanted the landscaping to feel kind of like Montecito meets Tulum, and I feel like we really nailed it back here. We've got some olive trees, which are very Montecito, but then we also have these gorgeous palm fronds, which are very Tulum. And then you can see throughout all the landscaping, I've got pops of purple, pops of yellow. I think it's really nice to have a little bit of color. In the corner, you can see my giant candles. I had these at my old house, except it's been getting so hot. They're kind of melting a little bit, but I just think these are really cool to flank the pool as like a little art piece. And then I had extra Calcutta viola. You guys are probably like, how much marble did this girl buy? But I had my marble fabricator make a top for this little dark bronze side table. This is the same bronze as all the hardware inside, so it really ties it all in. The house came with this really cute mini guest house garage, so I tried to convert it into my mini gym. So I have a treadmill in here, and then the best part, I actually shouldn't tell you guys because now people are going to try to come over all the time, but I put a sauna back here, and I seriously use that thing like 4 to 5 days a week. It's the best. So this is like my health and wellness little mini guest house. Besides hanging out outside by myself all the time, I love to have friends over, pop in the pool, especially when it's super hot. This is the perfect pregame spot if we're going to dinner down the street to Craig's or Chiconi's. Everyone will come here first. We'll have tequilas and just hang out by the fire pit. It is just the best, coziest outdoor spot. I had a vision where I was like, oh, I want to have a dining table. Then I was like, I don't really cook. So this is just perfect. I have a big couch. This whole outdoor living setup is CB2. And then I just put a really nice fire pit out here. During summer months, this is where everyone is. And I wanted to do a mirror outside. I always saw that at people's houses and I just thought that was so cute. So this is a Burke Decor mirror. It's also not for outdoors, so we'll see how long this lasts, but I think it's really pretty. I like how it fills up the wall space, especially when you're sitting here. It just makes the backyard feel so much bigger.
I would say that this loggia bar that we had built off the guest house is the heart and soul of our home, because it's truly where we spend so much time with friends and family. So what in Palm Beach, what we call a loggia is a structure that's attached to the building that has open air sides. So this isn't an awning, this is actually a structure that's attached to the guest house. And if you look up, we finished the ceiling with Pecky wood cypress, which is sprinkled throughout the home from our front door to our living room. It is an original characteristic of homes from the 1920s and especially old Florida. So that was a really fun detail that we wanted to bring in, matching the dark color of the wood to what you see throughout the home. My husband and I were sort of convinced that we wanted a hotel lobby type bar, not like a traditional sit-up high bar. So we had a countertop bar hand poured with pebbles and shells from concrete. It has all the peckled top and character that we really hoped it would. And so this is really the mainstay of the bar. And then the front part of the bar, as you can see, we had the Pecky cypress wood done all throughout the side of the bar as well, just to mimic the ceiling and to give it like a real grounded feel. The primary exciting piece, I just save up a lot of birthdays for this one, is the white gold pebble ice machine. I know. I grew up in Texas. I love ice, and pebble ice is like the best ice. So that was my big splurge, let's put it that way. And obviously we've got the sailfish and tons of vintage and meaningful art sprinkled throughout the wall here, from old Slamerin's art to DJ captaining a boat on our honeymoon. He's the captain. And we love rum, we love the Caribbean, so we always keep a good stock of our rum here. So this is when things get really wild. We bring out the wheeled and lighted karaoke machine. Sometimes you'll just find me out here singing badly when I've had a stressful day. It only takes like one glass of wine to get me fired up. Deej is the heart and center. This is my husband of the loggia. And so when guests come over, one of our favorite things to do, he makes rum punch. And so rum punch is super significant because when you travel to old hotels in the Caribbean, they welcome you with a rum punch. And so since we're trying to sort of create a hotel vacation vibe in our house like 24/7, the rum punch is key. And so cheers.
All right, so welcome to our dining room. So you saw the club earlier. This is, as I said, there were only 6 people able to sit in the room downstairs. So we decided to build our custom dining table, which you will see here, for our Sunday lunch moments. Now, for us, we love to shove as many people as possible, have a whole day of cooking. Pretty much every Sunday we have people here. And the idea is just to bring together our close friends, our community that we have out here, and we really have a great time. So this is a lot of time is spent here. Lots of food, lots of wine, lots of good memories have been built here. And so what we've done is we installed this custom dining table made out of quartz marble. There's brass detailing, as you will see, so kind of a continuation of what we had in the kitchen already. We've added additional landscaping done by Homes and Gardens, an LA-run landscaping company who have helped build out the garden space. And, you know, we really, really love spending a lot of time out here. To be able to have as many people here as possible really brings a great atmosphere, and so many good times have been shared here.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.